Hello dear learners, in today's lecture we will discuss one of the most critical component of business strategy, that is pricing. The price of a product or service is not just a number, it is a powerful signal of value, quality and market position. Understanding how to set the right price can be the key to unlocking profitability, gaining market share and building a sustainable business. Today, we will explore the foundational policies, diverse strategies, and their specific applications in different market contexts. Learning objectives. By the end of this session, you will be able to understand concept and significance of pricing policy in business decision making. You will also be able to identify various pricing strategies based on factors like cost, competition, and demand. In addition to this, you will gain the ability to analyze different pricing approaches suitable for various market segments, particularly in rural and urban settings. You will also learn how to evaluate pricing strategies tailored to quality conscious, value driven, and price sensitive consumers. And finally, you will be equipped to apply the most appropriate pricing methods depending on different market conditions and customer preferences. Now, what is pricing policy? So, let's begin with the fundamentals. What exactly is a pricing policy? In simple language, it is the set of principles and guidelines that a company follows to decide the price for its goods or services. It's not about making a random pricing decision, it's about creating a consistent and systematic approach. This policy is crucial for achieving key corporate goals, whether that's maximizing profit, growing market share, or ensuring customer satisfaction. When marketers face the challenge of setting a price, they generally rely on one or more of three fundamental bases, that is, cost, competition, and demand. We will now explore each of these approaches in detail. Cost-based approach. First, let's examine the cost-based approach. As the name suggests, this method anchors the price to the cost of producing the product. It is an inward-looking approach which is focused on covering expenses and achieving a desired profit. There are several popular methods under this approach. Under cost-based method, the most common method is cost plus pricing, which is also known as markup pricing. Here, a company calculates the total cost to produce a product includes both fixed and variable cost, and then we add a fixed percentage or a markup to arrive at the selling price. Let's take an example. If a solar cooker costs rupees 600 to produce and distribute and the company want a 15% profit margin, it would add rupees 90, setting the final price at rupees 690. This method is simple and ensures costs are covered. However, its main drawback is that it ignores market demand and competitors' price. Another method under cost-based approach is marginal cost pricing. Here, the price is set to cover the cost of producing just an additional unit. This is a short-term strategy often used to sell surplus stock or to enter a new competitive market. Here, the goal is to cover the variable cost and make some contribution towards fixed cost. Basically, it offers flexibility, but it is not suitable as a primary or long-term strategy. Let's take an example of this. Air India. Air India during low season offer discounted tickets just covering variable costs like fuel and catering, which is aiming to fill seats rather than fly half-empty aircraft. This generates some revenue and keep operation efficient. Moving on, target return pricing. It is a more strategic cost-based method. Here, the price is set to achieve a specific return on investment. It's common in capital-intensive industries where significant investment needs to be justified. For example, NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation, uses this method for electricity pricing to ensure a stable return on their large scale investment in infrastructure and plants. Next is payback method, which focuses on covering the initial investment within a specific period. Here, prices are set higher initially to recap capital costs like machinery and infrastructure as quickly as possible. This is useful for high risk projects but can make the product less competitive at launch. For an example, a new solar panel company in Gujarat may price its panels higher in the first 2 years to quickly recover setup costs and then gradually reduce prices to remain competitive. Finally, we have experience curve pricing. This forward looking strategy is based on the idea that as a company produces more, its cost will go down due to its increased efficiency. This is the experience curve. The firm set a low initial price, anticipating these future cost reduction, aiming to capture a large market share in early stage. For an example, Xiaomi entered the Indian market with aggressively low price for smartphones, making on the fact that as production volume increases, unit cost would fall. This helped them quickly capture the market share. Competition based approach. Now let's shift our focus from internal cost to the external environment. The competition based approach involves setting prices primarily based on what competitors are doing. This is a reactive strategy, essential in markets where products are highly similar. Under competition based method, the first method is leader pricing. Here, a retailer might price a popular product very low, sometimes even at a loss to attract customers into the store, hoping they will buy other more profitable items. For an example, Reliance Fresh might sell onions or potatoes at extremely low prices to attract footfalls into its store, hoping consumers will also buy other items like FMCG goods at their regular prices. Now, competitive pricing. It is straightforward. You set your price in direct response to your competitor's price for a similar product. This is common for standardized products like airline tickets or consumer electronics. Let's take an example of Flipkart and Amazon India. Often match each other's pricing for electronics such as smartphones or headphones to maintain their market position during sale events. A similar method is going rate pricing, where a firm, especially a small one, simply follows the price set by the market leaders. This minimizes risk but also reduces the opportunity to use price as a strategic advantage. For an example, smaller telecom operators like MTNL have historically followed the pricing trend set by leaders like Airtel and Jio rather than creating their own distinct pricing. Now, the last method under this approach is shield bid pricing. It is used in contract based scenarios like government or B2B projects. Companies submit a confidential bid and the contract is typically awarded to most competitive offer. This requires a careful balance between being low enough to win and high enough to be profitable. Let's take an example of L&T and BHEL participated in government infrastructure tenders where they submit confidential price bids. The contract usually goes to the lowest viable bidder. Our third major approach is demand based pricing. Unlike the previous two, this method is customer centric. It sets the price based on customer preferences and their perceived value of the product. But how do you price based on what a consumer is thinking? Let's look at the methods. Under demand-based method, the first method is differential pricing. This involves selling the same product at different price to different segments. Think of student discount or peak versus off-peak pricing for travelers. For an example, IRCTC charges different fares for train ticket based on booking time, that is Tatkal versus normal, and classes like AC sleeper. Similarly, PVR cinemas charges more on weekend than weekdays. Next is perceived value pricing. Here, the price is based not on the cost of production but on the value the consumer attached to the product. This is driven by factors like brand reputation, features, and customer experiences. It is the cornerstone of pricing of luxury and premium brands. Like Apple prices its iPhone significantly higher than production cost due to perceived brand value, quality, and status symbol. Next one is psychological pricing. Psychological pricing uses consumer psychology to make a price seems more attractive. The classical example is pricing an item at rupees 99 instead of 100 to create the perception of a bargain. Let's take an example of toothpaste brand like Colgate prices its product at rupees 99 instead of rupees 100 to make it look like a better deal. Now, value pricing. Here, we aim to offer a consistently fair price for a good quality product. A great example is Lifebuoy soap. By offering a reliable product at an affordable price, it has become a staple in countless households, demonstrating how the value pricing can drive mass adoption and long-term loyalty. There is also another example of Patanjali, which positions itself as a value for money brand, offering Ayurvedic personal care and food products that are cheaper yet perceived as healthier compared to multinational alternatives. Alright, that brings us to the end of today's session on pricing strategies. Today, we started by understanding how pricing policies impact business success. Then we explored three main approaches, that is cost-based method, under which we have discussed about markup pricing, then competition-based strategies including leader pricing and demand-based techniques such as psychological pricing. These tools helps businesses succeed in all type of market from urban to rural, from luxury to budget friendly. But we are not done yet. Next time we will continue our exploration with even more pricing concepts. Keep thinking about how these strategies apply to real business around you. And I will see you in our next session. Thank you.